Welcome to the Easter Festival, the full moon festival of Aries 2024. Welcome to the Aries full moon festival of 2024. We have made ourselves available as vehicles in cooperation with many other groups in the world for the incoming energies during the full moon's period. Months after months and year after year, in fact, decades after decades, we have persisted in our efforts to link mentally and spiritually with the groups throughout the world. As a result, there is an increasing conditioning effect from the energies being made available during these full moon festivals, and a growing assurance that corresponding changes are taking place within human consciousness, resulting in factual, physical, aspirational, and thoughtful developments. We have much to reflect on as we consider the full moon of Aries. Concerning Aries, Aries is the force which brings about fusion or integration of the personality, the at-one-ment of the personality and soul, the unification of humanity, or the great approach of the hierarchy to humanity. We are working with these energies now. From the above, we may regard Aries as a great constellation of hope. This hope for us is enduring and strengthened by the growth of goodwill groups in the world who are improving the quality of human life. We also meet to renew our faith, a faith strengthened by many years of meditation, steady and sustained service effort, resulting in an increasing understanding of an ever-growing sense of greater possibilities for the good, the beautiful, and the true. Let us pause for a few moments to sound the affirmation of the will with deep and solemn focus and consideration. In the center of the will of God I stand. Naught shall deflect my will from His. I implement that will by love. I turn towards the field of service. I, the triangle divine, work out that will within the square and serve my fellow men. Oh. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac and is the eminent sign of beginnings. Aries is initiatory, groundbreaking, and impulsive in the true sense of the word. We are told that Aries initiates the cycle of manifestation. It is the birthplace of ideas, and ideas, we are told, are divine potencies energetically moving outward in order to implement intentions. And these are especially energized by the impulsive forces of the constellation Aries. The keynote of Aries is descriptive of its powerful first ray energies. I come forth, and from the plane of mind, I rule. The Tibetan breaks down the keynote of Aries into 4 injunctions as follows. 1, express the will to be and do. 2, unfold the power to manifest. 3, enter into battle for the Lord. And 4, arrive at unity through effort. Esoteric Astrology, page 93. He then provided 5 descriptive words of the Lord of the first constellation, Aries. The first word being creation, then being, activity, strife, and finally, synthesis, which he writes enables Aries to influence our planet to these results. Today, we may confidently say that because of our gradually growing understanding and appreciation of the plan, the great purpose or goal of the energies of Aries is being carried out through the work of the new group of world service, whose radiatory impact is manifesting everywhere as demonstrated in the many crises confronting humanity. This recognition immediately evokes the responsibility of employing the dynamic first ray potency and precipitating power of Aries, which is especially present now and during every Aries full moon, to sustain the strife and activity towards synthesis in the world. Secondly, the new group of world servers, through the multitude of groups whose name is truly legion, are already carrying out these injunctions to their souls in the already explosive numbers of servers, responding to all aspects of the problems of humanity. One of our responsibilities as aspirants and disciples in this new age, in cooperation with the many serving groups in this world period, is to recognize the new group of world servers and strengthen their hands. And we do so with special focus during the 5 days associated with each full moon, and especially so during this full moon. This recognition directs streams of energy and connotes a renewal of energies and forces. Recognition is invocative and evocative. It is a means and effort to bring about the reflection of what the soul knows all along into the direct awareness of the physical brain and so condition everyday life. Recognition is creative, active, and productive of the new and desirable, which proves the occult law that energy follows thought. The energies available during Iris empower, facilitate, augment, intensify all human effort through the special potencies of the Lord of the first ray. We may rest assured of the will of deity being superlatively available in this Aries full moon and mindfully hold all the many service groups in the world as exquisitely evoking, and directing these current energies into the hearts and minds of humanity. We shall utilize the keynote of Iris as a directed sounding potency to penetrate into and precipitate the dynamic, fiery energies of Iris which are coming forth from the plane of mind, where energies are directed and ruled all the way into the lowest density of matter, and even all the way through to humanity's physical brain. For the Tibetan tells us that Aries awakens the will to reach the lowest and their control in order to know the uttermost and thus to face all experience. Esoteric Astrology, page 92. And thus do we aid in materializing the plan. If the plan is the embodiment of the divine will of deity, then everything concerning its implementation is connected to the right understanding and use of the will. And we are told that this is a major problem facing humanity that is concerning the understanding of the will. The will has been prostituted and turned into personality uses by individuals, groups, and nations. It seems that the present stage of human evolution makes this inevitable. The will, however, is needed in a great task of helping humanity lift selfishly applied forces into the selfless energies and forces of love. In this task, many world aspirants and disciples are particularly and especially suited to aid. A full quote will perhaps make it clearer. It might therefore be said that what is truly taking place in the world today is the transference of the energy of the planetary solar plexus to the planetary heart center. The forces of cupidity, aggression, glamour, and greed will be transmuted in the present furnace of pain and fiery agony and will be raised into the heart center. There they will be changed into the power of sacrifice, of inclusive surrender, of clear vision of the whole, and into cooperation. This is an aspect of the principle of sharing. The Tibetan continues, when I say these words, I am not speaking idealistically or mystically. I am pointing out the immediate goal. I am indicating a problem of our planetary deity. I am giving you a clue to a scientific process which is going on under our eyes and which is today at a point of crisis. These words were written several decades ago, but how appropriately so do they apply to these current times? As we talk, discuss, reflect on the will and on the will to create, the will to be, the will to activity, the will to strive, and the will to synthesize, we are generating a great thought form corresponding to these considerations of the will to good, which the present full moon in Aries is dynamically making available. We are working with current energies. These energies are following our thoughts and the collective thoughts of all the other groups similarly working in the world, and esoterically, we are opening a spiritual eye, which is directing all the energies in motion. The Tibetan has said that we should talk about spiritual matters, of the soul, of the plan, of the rules and the laws of the spiritual life, of the rules of white magic, of the hierarchy, of Shambhala, of the externalization, of the reappearance of the Christ. Through such sharing, we are bringing the energies into manifestation. Our conversation now, as we all contribute actively and mentally through listening and reflecting, is bringing the appropriate thought forms into manifestation. And the Tibetan tells us that Aries initiates the cycle of manifestation. Esoteric Astrology, page 92. Let us consider a little more, for we have so much information offered us through the blue books. And in these books, we are told a tremendous number of things. To wit, we are told that Aries is one of the dual signs of which the two horns of the ram is an indication. Its dual nature makes Aries the eminently great conveyor of the first ray, whose lower expression, we are told, is the seventh ray Lord. This seventh ray Lord is most effective of results on the lowest planes, the cosmic physical of our seven solar planes, and its seventh subplane, our ordinary etheric physical plane. The great and dynamic spiritual impulse, ideas, originating from logoic and monadic planes, from the first ray Lord are beneficently poured through and received by the seventh ray Lord of order and magic, who oversees the building of the temple of the Lord, so that the purpose comes into manifestation. The dual sign of Aries enables the will to good of the first ray from on high to be precipitated and manifested as goodwill on earth in the lowest planes through the lower aspects of the first ray, the seventh ray Lord. Let's consider the myth associated with the constellation Aries in the labors of Hercules, the capture of the man-eating mares. This is one of the only two myths in the labors of Hercules where Hercules had to overcome not only one creature, but a group of animals, a herd of horses and mares. The other sign where he had to deal with only one animal is Sagittarius, where he was faced with killing the Stymphalian birds. In Aries, these animals were described in the following words: wild were these horses, and fierce the mares, and all men trembled at their sound, for they traveled up and down the land, wreaking great damage, killing all the sons of men who crossed their path, and breeding steadily most wild and evil horses. This is describing widespread problems and challenges that may symbolically be likened to the current situations in the world. For everywhere, there are problems and challenges, the only difference being the degree of severity. The labor continues as follows. And a voice came through that portal: Hercules, my son, go forth, pass through the gate and enter on the way. Perform thy labor and return to me, reporting on the deed. Hercules partially completes the labor, and out of overconfidence, he fails and had to learn the importance and the need for humility in the performance of the labors. Here is an aspect of the disciple with overweening confidence, excited about the work, eager to do good, fired about helping and about doing God's work. But this work is more demanding than meets the eye. It is a long journey, and the twists and the turns will test his patience, and through this testing, evoke his persistence, a greatly needed soul quality of which the aspirant knows but little. Hercules is just starting on his first labor. There are 11 other labors awaiting him, and the 12 labors are not simply 12, but he will have to go through cycles of these 12 labors again and again until he overcomes and begin anew in the Aries experience, chastened, learned, knowledgeable, wiser, and disciplined, having learned truly the gifts of success and failure in each sign, and having learned the secret of the laws of cycles. The Tibetan explains this clearly. He says, this liberation is 12-fold in nature. For liberation, victory and triumph have to be experienced in every sign, just as captivity, defeat, and failure have been experienced in all the signs of the zodiac, whilst the man is functioning as a personality. Esoteric Astrology, page 107. In this first labor, Hercules depended on his faithful friend, Abderus, to help accomplish the labor. Hercules' lack of humility, which the Tibetan defines as right proportion, leads to the death of his friend. he will have to succeed alone by himself. This aloneness had characterized previous aspirants and was common among the students of occultism during the rapidly passing Piscean age. But in this dawn of the Aquarian age, Hercules has transformed from representing the solitary aspirant or disciple, and his name is now of a group consciousness and has taken a group form. And today he's found serving in many places in the world as the world disciple. His form and awareness culminates in the group of world service, the group effort to meet the many challenges facing humanity, vanquishing the hordes of mares that are everywhere, breeding steadily most wild and evil horses. Today, these are rampant, but so also are the serving groups ubiquitous. The failure of Hercules is of significance to all disciples and aspirants. In fact, on the spiritual path, as in the so-called ordinary life, the lessons to be learned from failure may not be ignored. And perhaps we learn more from failure than success when we have developed humility. In this connection, the idea of the Tibetan that the real lessons to be learned and facing humanity and the world is to learn from the mistakes of the past. This statement is significant. When we have learned humility, right proportion, we shall be in the position to receive and appreciate anew the gifts with which Aries comes forth and from the plane of mind rule. Some of these energies may be expressed through the 12 energies reposing in the heart center of the soul, which is encountered on the mental plane. These are propelled or energized by the will to be. And these energies, which the Tibetan again tells us function through the 12 virtues, are the following: group love, embracing individuals; humility, signifying our personality attitude; service, indicating your soul preoccupation; patience, signifying the embryonic immortality and persistence, which is a soul characteristic; life, or expressed activity, which is the manifestation of love; tolerance, which is the first expression of Buddhic understanding; identification with others, which is embryonic fusion, and which, when carried, eventually it becomes synthesis when the head center is developed; compassion, which is essentially the right use of the pairs of opposites; sympathy, which is the consequence of knowledge and the unfoldment of the 12 of the knowledge petals. Such energy is in touch then with the heart center; wisdom, which is the fruit of love and indicates the awakening of the love petals of the egoic lotus; finally, sacrifice, which is the giving of the heart's blood of life for others. Discipleship in the New Age, Volume 2, page 660 to 661. Again, these are the virtues through which the energies of the heart center, activated by the will to be, emanating from Aries, are bringing forth, and from the plane of mind, are gradually ruling all human relationships. Let us meditate. Letting in the light. Group fusion. We affirm the fact of group fusion and integration within the heart center of the new group of world servers, mediating between hierarchy and humanity. I am one with my group brothers, and all that I have is theirs. May the love which is in my soul pour forth to them. May the strength which is in me lift and aid them. May the thoughts which my soul creates reach and encourage them. Alignment. We project a line of lighted energy towards the spiritual hierarchy of the planet, the planetary heart, the great ashram of Sanat Kumara, and towards the Christ at the heart of hierarchy. Extend the line of light towards Shambhala, the center where the will of God is known. Higher interlude. Hold the contemplative mind open to the extraplanetary energies streaming into Shambhala and radiated through hierarchy. Using the creative imagination, endeavor to see the three planetary centers, Shambhala, hierarchy, and humanity, gradually coming into alignment and interplay. Meditation. We reflect on the seed thought of the Easter festival, the full moon of Aries. I come forth, and from the plane of mind, I rule. Precipitation. Using the creative imagination, visualize the energies of light, love, and the will to good pouring throughout the planet and becoming anchored on Earth in prepared physical plane centers through which the plant can manifest. Use the sixfold progression of divine love as the sequence of energy precipitation: Shambhala, hierarchy, the Christ, the new group of world servers, men and women of goodwill everywhere in the world, physical centers of distribution everywhere. Lower interlude. Refocus the consciousness as a group within the periphery of the great ashram. Together sound the affirmation: in the center of all love I stand. From that center, I, the soul, will outward move. From that center, I, the one who serves, will work. May the love of the divine self be shared abroad in my heart, through my group, and throughout the world. Visualize the downpouring spiritual inflow released from Shambhala through the hierarchy and streaming into humanity through the prepared channel. Consider how these impouring energies are establishing the pathway of light for the coming world teacher, the Christ. Distribution. As the great invocation is sounded, visualize the outpouring of light and love and power from the spiritual hierarchy through the 5 planetary inlets: London, Darjeeling, New York, Geneva, Tokyo, irradiating the consciousness of the whole human race. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Oh. Oh. Thank you. The full moon of Aries occurs tomorrow, Monday, March 25th, at 3 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So we may offer ourselves as vehicles for the distribution, the peak of the distribution at that time. Okay. Few announcements. The Arcane School Conference will be held during the Taurus, the Wesak festival period, and that will be the Taurus, the Wesak festival full moon, and the venue will be the New York Theosophical Society, 242 East 53rd Street, New York City.
The Taurus full moon is at the Theosophical Society, the Arcane School to the bottom. The Arcane Conference is April 2021.
Okay. Okay. Clarify, please note, the Arcane School Conference is April 20th and April 21st. The Arcane School Conference will be held in April 20th and April 21st. The Wisak Festival, the Taurus full moon, will be Tuesday, April 23rd, 7 p.m. But the actual full moon occurs 7:49 p.m. So we shall be in the very tide of the energies flowing through. So thank you and hope to see you all, and good evening.